Managing Director of the World Economic Forum, and she joins me now from Geneva. Saadia, great to have you on the show. So, creation of 69 million new jobs, but a net decrease of 14 million in the next 5 years. I mean, what industries, from this report, what industries do you see facing the biggest changes here, having the most impact because of AI?
So we're looking at more than AI when it comes to some of the changes. And it's very clear that the jury's out when it comes to artificial intelligence. About 50% of companies think that there will be growth in jobs, and about a quarter of companies think there will be net decline in jobs. The growth, of course, as expected, artificial intelligence specialists, machine learning specialists, people that are working with big data, those are going to be growing roles. When it comes to declining roles, it's really people that are at the lower skilled end of the workforce. So people who are working in administrative and secretarial roles, bank tellers, people who are postal service workers, those are the ones who are most likely to be disrupted by artificial intelligence. But then there is also growth. There's expected to be more than 4 million new jobs in agriculture, more than 3 million new jobs in education, a number of jobs, at least 1 million that are going to be created because of the green transition. So when we look at that complex mix of both technology and sustainability and supply chain changes, there's actually going to be nearly as much growth as disruption of jobs.
And Saadia, you probably heard this because this is a conversation that's constantly being had. I mean, people and workers are concerned about their own jobs. What can they do to protect their positions? I'm talking here of AI specifically.
So it's very clear that those that are students and learners at the younger end of the workforce today should absolutely be becoming more technology literate, should be spending more time on starting to understand some of the changes that are afoot. But when it comes to the workers that are already in the workforce, the one thing that companies are placing a very high premium on beyond technology skills is actually leadership and social influence. So the ability to be able to work with other people, to be able to collaborate, and essentially to do things that machines and algorithms cannot do. That's what companies are looking for. And another element of that is critical thinking, creative thinking, analytical thinking. These are all things that workers have in plenty already in the workforce, and they could be doing more to upskill themselves.
And you and I have spoken about this report, not the specific report, but previous reports. You've been doing this since 2016, following the labour market. Just talk to us about the evolution, as you tracked, of course, the labour market. When you talk about AI, did you see it in the last, 3-4 reports or so? What stood out to you here?
Yeah, this has been very interesting. The last 2 reports, everyone was concerned about the robot revolution, about the rise of industrial robots and potentially even humanoid robots that are going to disrupt healthcare and factories and education. And here we are today, and that's not quite played out. In fact, there's been an increase in the roles that are required across all those sectors, even increase in advanced manufacturing and in factory workforces. So we're at a similar inflection point today. It can look very daunting to look at the types of skills that will be disrupted, and yet at the same time, it's clear that there is ample opportunity for people to be able to do more value-added work with artificial intelligence.
Saadia Zahidi, thank you very much. I was actually impressed that we said that companies are prioritizing women, 79%. That was great to read. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.